today's more report charts appraisals with me, Rich Market analyst at Anti-Markets on Tuesday, 27th of June. We've got a fairly cautious look to, or certainly corrective look to equities, but interestingly that we've seen the dollar, which is correcting as well. Now, what we have seen is the yen and the euro strengthening. Euro strengthening is on the back of Mario Draghi speaking today. Now, Mario Draghi has been suggesting that deflationary forces in the eurozone are being replaced with reflationary forces, and also that current dip back in inflation is sort of seen as a temporary move. So subsequently the euro has sort of pushed higher on that, about 60 ticks up on the day. And you look across these forex majors and you can see the dollar is sort of looking corrective, with sterling marginally higher, yen marginally higher, and also interestingly gold, which has found support above 1240. Now let me show you that on the dollar chart, where you can see that sort of rally that we saw yesterday has been unwound, and that's coming as the we continue to see the 2-10 spread on the Treasury yields falling away as the yield curve flattens. We can see the 2-year Treasury yield, which is higher today, and the 10-year yield, which is basically unchanged. So that 2-10 spread continues to flatten and now is back at levels not seen since August. So it really is becoming an issue for the dollar, and that dollar continues to remain sort of unable to engage in any sort of recovery, despite the fact that the Fed continues to tighten. We've got a speech by Janet Yellen this afternoon, which is expected to sort of talk up the US economy, but it'll be interesting to see how that affects Treasury yields and the dollar this afternoon. But in front of that, we've still got the dollar under pressure, also equity markets under pressure. Interestingly, we're also seeing the oil price, which has rallied. Oil price has rallied back into a resistance zone near term 43.75, which was that key May low, sort of area of resistance, and it'll be interesting to see if that can continue to rally. Now, in terms of other data points today, we've got the Case-Shiller Home Prices House Price Index for the US, and also the US Consumer Confidence this afternoon. Case-Shiller expected to stay at 5.9, Consumer Confidence at 116.0, down from 117.9. 117.9 was a very strong level last month, and yeah, it's expected to sort of come back a little bit from that, but certainly consumer confidence in the US still remains very strong. Now, my chart of the day is the sterling yen. Now, this is an interesting chart because we've seen sterling starting to recover as the election sort of wound towards a bit of a disaster for the Tories. The sterling had become was weakening, and we've started to see that weakening sterling turn around again. That low of 138.65 was the sort of culmination of the election, and the market has suddenly started to sort of turn higher with higher lows. But also what you can see here is a little head and shoulders reversal, perhaps a little base pattern. 142.75 was that reaction high that we saw on the 8th of June. And a break above that would, I think, complete this base pattern, but also look at the momentum indicators. The MACD lines crossing higher, stochastics rising strongly, RSI above 50. That's a 3-4 week high on the RSI. So all these indicators are beginning to turn around and suggesting that perhaps you're set to see a bit of a recovery. Now, 143.95 is the subsequent resistance, 2nd of June higher, but certainly 142.75 is your first resistance that you need to look out for. Now, 142.55, which is a 20th of June high, has been tested today and initially just come off. So market has just come off, but it certainly looks as though corrections have been brought into. Momentum indicators on the hourly chart are still positively configured, and if that support 141.80 and also 141.30 sort of support area continues to hold today, then I think you can see further pressure on that resistance at 142.75, which, as I said, would complete a base pattern. So with that in mind, wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.